Good morning. Good Monday morning to you. January 24th, my little brother's birthday. Happy birthday. Man, I hope you guys are having a great start to the week. I know I'm on West Coast time, so a lot of you guys, it's already a little bit later in the morning. But like I said, I hope you guys are having a great Monday, great start to the week. We had another excellent weekend in San Diego. Progress is coming fast this year, which is good. So I'm super pumped on it, the way everything's going. I had a few challenges this weekend, but man, at the end of the day, when you're controlling what you can control, that's all you can do. Challenges are going to come. That's just part of the process. How do we internalize those? How do we talk about them? How do we deal with them is a big deal. I was watching some football games yesterday as I was doing some of my final breakdowns. And man, it's just, I'll be honest with you, the games are exciting. But from my standpoint, I take so much more away from what the guys are saying after the game, the interviews and last week I was talking about self-talk and how important that is, and we really need to spend time working and training ourselves just like we do with anything else in the area of self-talk. I think it gets overlooked a lot of times, but these guys, as they're doing these interviews and stuff, there's a window into their self-talk as they're getting these interviews, because what they're doing, they're regurgitating what they're telling themselves. So it's a very interesting. One of the guys yesterday was talking about, we're not worried about the outcome. We don't think about the outcome. We can't control the outcome. We're focused on what we can control, and that's what we stay focused on. And the outcome is what it is. If it's time for us to win right now, we're going to win. If it's not our time, it's not our time. And man, that goes back to a book that one of my favorites by Bill Walsh. After he was the 49ers coach for so many years and won, I can't have 6 or 7 Super Bowls in a 10-year period, but and those weren't all as a coach. A few of those were as a GM. But man, he wrote a book called "The Score Takes Care of Itself," and it was all about staying focused on what you can control and continuing to progress in that area. And if you do that, the rest of it will take care of itself. You ain't got to worry about the scoreboard. But a lot of times being worried, being concerned about the scoreboard has an effect that overrides people's potential and talent, and it actually works against them. So I think that's a important thing to take into consideration. In life, I was listening to our pastor yesterday, and he was giving an analogy that Jesus had gave to, I think it was the disciples, but was talking about, man, we're more in tune with weather. We understand, if the sky's a certain way or the barometric pressure's a certain way, that we can anticipate a certain type of weather. And he goes, we're really good at that, but we're really not good at interpreting the spiritual weather of our lives, and not just spiritual levels, just our lives in general. We're not good at interpreting it in a way that it affects our lives. How we interpret the weather doesn't change the weather, but how we interpret our lives and how things are unfolding and going does change how our lives unfold. So it's an interesting thing. So little food for thought for you to chew on today is one of the things he mentioned yesterday is there's supernatural things happening every day in our lives, in our normal everyday lives. And we don't acknowledge those things. We don't pay attention to them. We overlook them. And how, is that important? Is it have an effect? I think so. I think when we acknowledge that there's amazing things taking place on a daily basis that we're not acknowledging, then it doesn't have an effect on our lives. It's just like that self-talk. It doesn't change. Everything's average, everything's mundane. Well, when everything's like that, that's the type of life that that unfolds for us. So what we're acknowledging has a big impact on how things unfold. So just a few things for you guys to think about today. As you can see, my brain's going a little bit this morning. Yeah, just excellent stuff last weekend. That's my perspective today, what I'm taking away from what happened last weekend. I think it'll affect what happens this week and leading forward. So, you guys have a great Monday, and I will see you in the morning.